Alright, might as well get this going. I'm done looking at Twitter for now. I got distracted by something, okay? It kept spitting out some fucking drama on my end. I was just like, eh, what is this? Oh, I don't really give a shit. Okay. People very much missing the fucking issue. A whole lot of missing the fucking issue. Anyway, playing 14 today, but I'm only gonna like fish and maybe do diadem gathering. My thighs have been fucking killing me all week. Now, being disabled is fun like that. Some days are just worse than others. Unfortunately, it's just one of those weeks. I thought it was because I had to keep lifting the toilet tank up all the time, but now it's still persisting. You know, that's fun. Ugh, and I still have to take a shower today. That's gonna be fucking great. Yeah, no, we're just gonna chill and fish. I need to work on orange scripts anyways, and I have been doing that on my own time as well. I've been listening to like really shitty audiobooks and just fishing. Though this may be resulting in some of the nerdiest shit I've ever done because I've had like 2 separate pairs of earbuds. So I only need to barely hear what's going on. So I have my iPod's one on my right side and the computer on the left side. Yeah. I have problems. Granted, we all knew that. Like, that's not a mystery. I have to make some stop-offs to clear inventory. Also, I'm like not bothering with Cordales this time. I haven't been bothering the last few times I've done this. Honestly, it feels like it doesn't matter to an extent. So I basically just... Okay, yeah, no, I changed the top bar at some point. That's why I have all these, like, extra little doodads sitting here. Hold on. There we go. That's better. This is macro to do at least one ambitious lure when I cast, so it's making it a little easier. But yeah, no, I haven't been bothering with the cordials and putting in all the effort to patience and shit. It's just, as far as I can tell, it doesn't seem to matter as much. I get the same amount no matter what I do. But yeah, I'm at 29 now, so like I said, I have been doing this off and on my own time. As lazy as I am, I do actually like get off my butt sometimes to do things. We're gonna make a few stop-offs. I have to dump out a few items, and I need to check the gold saucer real quick. Okay, I did check my tickets at some point. Yeah, like I said, my thighs have just been endlessly bugging me this week. I put some cream on them, like, don't worry. Whether or not the muscle and joint cream's really doing anything, because occasionally when I move I can feel... like, I feel my muscles pull again. It hasn't been enough to completely stop me from getting a workout in. Granted, I've been doing a rather more chill workout lately. Because it's been bothering me. And it really doesn't have that much bearing on anything. Unless I'm going out of my way to strain myself, in which case, yeah, but that's not what I've been doing. It's just something I've been having to put up with. It's an off and on thing. I've been lucky because, like, at least I didn't have to deal with, like, a full-on arthritis attack this year. I did have one. It was just, like, so chill. It was just, like... almost entirely ignorable. Hopefully that, like I've said before, hopefully that means I found the sauce. I found the right combination of changes to make sure that my arthritis does not try to fucking paralyze me again. Which is essentially what's happened. Okay, this is clean enough. I was working on getting all the fish I was missing. But to be fair, if I get bored, we might do that as well. Problem is, this is very heavily split. Like, some of these I don't have due to having time locks on them. There aren't that many, though. Like, this one has, like, a weird... No, this one wasn't a time condition, it was a bait condition. Which unfortunately requires scripts, and I wasn't willing to fill my inventory again. Like, I left off in Heritage Found, I believe. And I had to go back to another area to pick up, spearfishing. I was about to say, where is this? It's in the lake. Duh. What the fuck am I thinking? And there's a bunch in Yakta Also keep in mind there are some spots where you have to spawn the node. I don't actually... It was really hard to figure out what the fuck the condition was to one of them because it had two separate sets of nodes in that lake. The one in, fuck, where was it? Kosomoka? In the, is that the... No, that's the southern portion of the map that has the lake. Right, because you enter from the north part. Actually, I do need this page. Right, because I can do this entirely without paying money on teleports if I do this right. Also, occasionally the macro breaks. There's latency issues. Because of course there are. I think I got it as close to possible to keep it from breaking, but it will occasionally just do so anyways. I have no control over that. But we're throwing absolutely everything back that isn't a bird. Because again, according to sea, birds are fish. So are griffins. At least according to the Ishgardians, they are. There is one instance where you catch griffins with a fishing rod. Now we don't know how that works. Why the griffins are dumb enough to fall for that. Yeah, we're just gonna chill out tonight. I was struggling to even get myself to do this much, to be perfectly honest. It's like, when my thighs ache like this, it's sometimes difficult to sit down at all. But like, laying down will make it worse. At least when I later have to get up inevitably. It'll just make it worse. Like I said, I still have to take a shower at some point today, so... can't really afford to do that. Gotta figure out what to have for dinner, too. I should be responsible. I eat some wraps so I at least get some more leafy greens in. Fuck, I don't know if I'm gonna have the energy to do that. Oh, also, yes, the building management actually replaced the heat detector. I know I mentioned it on Twitter. I don't think I mentioned it anywhere else. Because I didn't get the notice about it until after stream on Tuesday. They had shoved it into the door. Not under the door where I would have actually for sure seen it. They shoved it into the door on the side. The only reason I saw it is because I remember hearing weird fucking sounds during that stream. And I looked at the crack of the door and saw something stuck there. I love having to pick paper up off the ground because you guys can't just be bothered to, you know, do the easy thing and slip it under the door where one, I can hear it being slipped under. Two, we'll actually see it. But yeah, they replaced the heat detector. It was at 9 on Thursday, but I had like digestive issues all day yesterday, so it was probably for the best I didn't try to stream after that. It wasn't like... It was all of like a couple of minutes to replace it. It didn't take all that long. I knew they had to do something about it, because the inspectors... Keep in mind, this was like a couple months ago at this point. The inspectors were like, it's out of date. Which I can only assume means they replaced all of them based on all the shit they were carrying around. Which, to be fair, would make sense, because then at least they have all of them synced up. I know they had to replace some smoke detectors. The heat detector is actually, like, connected to the building's alarm system, as far as I'm aware. The smoke detectors are not. At least not the ones in the suites. So honestly, it feels like, might be a little late by that point. I don't know. I don't know what it takes to set the heat detector off. Shit, all it takes is being slightly too humid to set this frickin' smoke detector off. Or, you know, a bug getting into it. Or a stiff breeze. Seriously, I think we figured out how to make a smoke detector that, you know, actually detected smoke and not everything else. Yeah, no, it didn't take them that long. They were here in time that I could still do my workout yesterday. Because I have a very specific window I can do my workout in. If I do it anytime past, like, 1 p.m., I'll usually be in quite a bit of pain trying to do it. My thighs tend to feel worse over the course of the day. Again, disability's fun like that. Shit's never consistent. It's not in my case. I wish it was. Then I'd be able to, you know, plan around it. It doesn't work that way. Like, all I know is that doing my workout past a certain point in the day is usually a bad idea. I do arm exercises, that's not a problem. I can't do leg exercises. I also have like a period of time right after waking up where I feel like shit, but that's... To be fair, that's not really new. It's just it didn't involve my back and thighs before. I always feel like shit when I wake up. It takes me like an hour after actually getting out of bed to wake up. Also, I have delicious caffeine as well. Because of course I do. I already drank quite a bit of it. Also, I wish caffeine even really worked on me. It barely does anything. It's supposed to be 200 milligrams of this stuff. I get maybe the tiniest little perk up, and that's about it. It's supposed to have pain-killing properties too, but fuck if I've ever experienced that. Gotta be too mild to be worth anything. Spicy food does more for that than caffeine does. Yeah, I was kind of debating between doing this and streaming Marvel Snap, but I wasn't sure. To be fair, I never really give a shit about whether or not people would be interested in seeing anything. I just kind of do whatever. But I was like, I'm not sure I feel up to that. That's a long time commitment, to be fair. I like to at least stream 2 hours unless I start feeling like absolute shit and have to end the stream. Or in the odd case where a blizzard rolls in and my mom's like, hey, if we don't go get errands done right now, we ain't getting them done this week. That happened during a Neptunia stream. I think it was during the second game. I'd started the stream and like an hour in, my mom texts me and she's like, yeah, we gotta go do errands now. Fuck. That was before the walker, thank fuck, because otherwise that wasn't happening. Like, shit, I nearly face planted during that trip. The snow had come in so heavy that I couldn't see where the sidewalks were in some places. Mom saw me staring at the pile of snow where we knew a sidewalk was. She had gotten up on it. I was just like, I can't see it. So she just like holds her arm out to me so I have somewhere to balance. And I inevitably missed the edge of the sidewalk and slide back down. I'm like, okay, I know where it is now. So luckily she kept me from falling over. That was insane. Like, this town is not built for snow. I was told it very rarely snowed, and then we keep getting freak storms now that I'm here. Yeah, climate change and all that. Luckily, we haven't, like, gotten severe Arctic waves here. Usually, it'll clip us and then be gone the next couple of days. But we don't have the trucks and stuff to really do much when it heavily snows here. And nobody fucking cleans the damn sidewalks. Like, the apartments I'm living in don't clear the sidewalks at all. They don't even clear the ones on the property all that well, but they're supposed to be responsible for the ones that are next to the streets. They don't clear those either. The only place that clears their fucking sidewalk is, ironically, the fucking cannabis store. Which I greatly appreciate, but it's also really fucking weird that the only place actually bothering is the cannabis store. Go figure. Not to mention they do a really fucking good job of it. But yeah, I wasn't sure I wanted to put the time commitment into Marvel Snap on stream. Then I'm still, like, learning the game. I think I finally have a deck I feel comfortable with, though I might swap one of the cards again. Or at least if not comfortable, at least a deck I can know I can manage well enough to do things. So occasionally the game throws me a curveball because the locations are weird like that. Got one yesterday that was... It was just like, here's 4 random cards. Have fun trying to figure out what they do. I used it to great effect because the second location was like at the end of every turn, any card that's played here gains 1 power. And I got Brood. So I ended up with a fall location on turn 3. So I was gaining 4 power there every turn. But it's definitely a card game with, like, a weird learning curve. I think I don't know if I mentioned on stream, it's kind of like playing poker to an extent. Just because of the way the snap mechanic works. So I've seen several people snap it on turn 1, and I'm just like, the fuck are you doing? I thought that was specifically like people playing White Tiger Odin and just getting those cards in their hand on turn 1, but I saw somebody using a completely different deck that did the same thing. I was at a total loss as to why he thought he had won on turn 1 on that one. Because I won that game. I won one of the White Tiger Odin ones as well. Because you're snapping on turn 1 on a fucking coin flip on that. I'm gonna have to look up White Tiger, because I'm wondering if there's some location priorities on that. But like, I don't know. It's also hard to get mad at Marvel Snap, because it's like, you're not sitting there stewing in your rage at an inevitable loss. It's a 6-turn game at most. So much of it is like, okay, I've lost, GG, go next. Cut my losses, lose 1 point. GG, go next immediately. A lot of my exclamations lately have been, math! Just do the damn math! There's been so many times I've won a game because the dude just, like, doesn't bother to math anything out and then plays into a location I've already handily won. Like, why did you do that exactly? Because now you just handed me the win? I don't know. Granted, keep in mind I'm only at, like, I was at gold before the reset, and now I'm only back in silver. I don't know if I'll ever, like, not even necessarily be good enough at the game, but put enough effort into the game to ever get high enough to play the really good players. Well, outside of Conquest, but I already got intimidated out of Conquest the first time I did it. Because that one, I don't know if that has, like, an MMR tracking. I don't think it does. So I definitely went up against somebody that had a way higher collection level. I won it somehow, but it was very intimidating to see fucking Death get played with like 12 power. Also, Conquest is a bit more tedious because the cubes go into an HP pool rather than like a one-off match. You're doing several rounds against the same dude with the same deck. Also, doing anything that involves like a community tends to be intimidating. When I'm doing single-player games, I can at least tell people to fuck off, but with active like service games, it's a bit harder to do that. And people are so quick to try to fucking police your enjoyment of a game. It's just like, seriously, the moment I started streaming Hollow Knight, and this is in the VOD, somebody came in and started obsessing over the frickin' voiceover pack, and I'm just like, would you just fuck off? Holy shit. Like, I'm not gonna mod the fucking game on day 1 of me playing unless there is a huge glaring bug in the game that makes it impossible to get past a certain point or fucks up a mechanic. Like in the case of, say, Surviving Mars, I had a mod to fix the farms for the DLC because they would inevitably break after a while and the bots would stop collecting things from the farms. So you had all this food and all these seeds that you couldn't access. And that the company couldn't be bothered to ever fix. But like, I'm not gonna mod as fucking single player Metroidvania on my first fucking run through. Like, come on now. Especially one that's been around that long, has had, like, plenty of patches and is generally, you know, functional. It's like if I ever end up playing through Stardew Valley, I'm not modding it on day one. Fuck that. I know there's plenty of mods to make it look prettier. I don't care. I want the base experience. Might mod in the queer dating though. Maybe. Just for shits and giggles, I don't know. Like that might be a mod I'd do, but like for the most part, I want the experience the developers intended. Not what the fucking player base thinks is good. You know, at the very least, I've been enjoying Marvel Snap, if nothing else. But I've said it before, boy, is that game predatory with its fucking microtransactions. Jesus fucking Christ. I currently have a Ghost Spider one. That's just a variant, a avatar, a bunch of boosters for the card, and some credits to help you boost it. It's like 28 bucks for a single card, essentially. Because all the boosters do is they make it look prettier. That's all the boosters and credits do, is they make the card look cooler. They boost your collection level as well, but it's just like, you're essentially paying a shit ton of money to guarantee get the one card, and that's about it. A card that, as long as you keep playing the game, you will inevitably have. Because that's how the collection works. You will eventually have every card, so long as you just keep playing. You keep playing and you keep upgrading the cards you have. And like, you're always getting boosters and you're always getting credits. It's just much slower. A lot of it's attached to dailies and like battle pass and stuff. And the battle pass is like the least predatory part of that entire thing, which is shocking. Like the battle pass is actually like somewhat cheap. It's it ranges from the same range that like basically all battle passes do. Plus they give you an option to run a boosted version where you get some levels into it already. I will say at least thank you for listing your prices in Canadian for me, but like Jesus Christ, just makes me realize how fucking expensive they actually are. I think it was listed in Canadian, because like otherwise that Ghost Spider thing was over 30 bucks. I think it's in Canadian. Also really doesn't help that the variant is actually really fucking cool looking, but like I can't justify spending that much money on a single fucking card for a digital card game. So I know some people will pay good money for the physical cards because they need to build competitive decks, and some people just like collecting shit, but not for a digital card game, which will inevitably go away at some point. Like, it's probably going to be running for quite a while still, since it seems to, you know, have quite an active player base and now has a PC version. Which apparently has been running for a year, based on the pack of, I think it was credits they sent me. That said 1-year PC anniversary. I assume they're telling the truth on that. Otherwise, why send freebies? is, you know, they wouldn't keep doing it unless the whales were paying for it. So you know somebody's buying it, unfortunately. I know at this point Thanatos keeps wanting to drag me into Yu-Gi-Oh, but boy do I have no patience for that. Like, I don't feel like reading a wall of text for one card. That is just exhausting. Shit, I remember I had some of the OG Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I remember, like, at least that was reasonable back then. But fuck, it's so bloated now. Shit, Shadowverse fell into the same fucking hole, but, like, Shadowverse at least keeps track of some of the shit I need to keep track of for me. Granted, I think there is a physical version of Shadowverse at this point. I just don't know how worthwhile that is. At this point, I think card games are just one of those things where, can I even justify spending money into this? Especially in this town, because I've checked out some of the card game stores. It's pretty much all Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And there's like one other card game that's gotten really popular. That's only been around for a couple of years. And like, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon all have the same issue. They're so bloated now that it's just like, can I be bothered to learn this now? No, not really. No, that doesn't mean I don't, like, watch videos about said card games. I get very distracted very easily. And I tend to fall down rabbit holes on YouTube. So I watch a lot of video content about the games. Fuck if I ever feel like playing them. Like, the only reason I touch the Marble Snap is because it's like, no matter how bloated it gets, you're playing 6-turn games, 7 at most. Because there's a location effect that turns the game into a 7-turn one. Oh, there's one that turns it into a 4-turn game, which is hilarious. This is like, oh cool, if you had a 6-cost win con, congratulations, it's probably gone now. Figure your shit out yourself. Like, overall, it's a bit more approachable. It also doesn't quite have that text bloat. Granted, they just added in a new card effect. Instead, they have activatable effects, where once it's on the field, the next turn you can do a thing with it by I think it's hold-clicking. If you bought the Battle Pass, you got one of those for free. They have a Symbiote Spider-Man. Has that effect. Which I believe that one, it consumes the lowest cost card and then gains its text effect, I believe. And I think it's power. I don't remember the specifics. Like, I'd have to actually read the text again. And I might actually be moving that into my deck soon. Because it occurred to me before I started streaming that might be helpful with certain cards I have. It's like right now I'm running mostly reveal effects. And I have Koya is the one that increases the power by 1 on everything currently in my deck. here is the one that increases everything by 1 in my hand. So I can get another way to reactivate those without using Odin, because, like, Odin does nothing for them, because that's turn 6. It might be actually worthwhile. So Koya would be an easier target, because power 2. Cost 2, power 2. I don't know. I'll have to look at it later. Yes, I'm being nerd about a completely different game. I know. I'm aware. I'm aware. A lot of the time when I do my best thinking when I'm just muttering to myself. It's like if I don't get the ideas out of my head, I can't process them correctly sometimes. Which is why I write so many fucking notes that, like, help keep track of shit. Like, I wasn't keeping track of shit with Harvestella if I hadn't written some notes down. That was a lot of fiddly bits I was working on all at once to get the achievements. Doing a whole lot of stuff all collective at the same time. Also, I gotta dump some of my extra gil out. When did I get over 1 million again? When did that happen? How did that happen? Why did that happen? Usually I'm better about that. No, what am I saying? I'm usually lazy about parsing my extra gil back out. I don't like walking around with a shit ton of pocket change. Also, hey, SE. Can we work on the system that alerts players when a mob spawns? When one of the hunt mobs spawns, because, you always stay close, and then when I get the actual location, it's nowhere near me. I had that happen off-stream with the Only Fish thing, and I had that happen off-stream while doing this. I get the location and they're literally nowhere near me. Like, I kind of assumed that was to, like, warn people so they don't walk right into it. It doesn't work if it's so far away I can't physically see it. I wonder if it's a map-wide thing. Then again, a lot of the A ranks just sit there doing nothing for quite a while. I don't even know if hunt mob training's quite as prevalent as it used to be. It's hard to tell with the fact that they have everything instanced off right now. Okay, I think it's still instanced off to avoid the server dying. Yeah, I may swap over to Diadem for a bit. I think it just depends on how long the stream goes. So I don't even know. I have no plans right now. It's just fish. So, I almost have this achievement now. This is one of the old botany ones, because I've kind of been working on a bunch of the Diadem achievements just for the hell of it. Granted, I don't even know if we have a release date for the Diadem... Technically Diadem 2.0. Even though it wouldn't be Diadem 2.0, because, like, Diadem 2.0 was still a combat instance. Like, Diadem 2.0 based on the Gathering version. Also, I see the fact that you had to hard reprogram Diadem that many times should have been a pretty good indication that you fucked up badly. And then you still made Eureka and Bojan resistance. I don't know why. Bojan resistance at least made sense because the whole... We already knew about Boja and like its backstory and shit that had been around for years. And so it makes sense that we would have inevitably had to deal with it, but like... It's more the idea that it's this fucking offshoot instance area that has Inception instances. Which was such a garbage design, by the way. So it results in this huge issue in that if you actually get up to those instances really quickly to finish the story, you just straight up can't, because you have to wait for other players to catch up. It's just bad design. It's not like right now where, at least technically you have NPCs. Actually, except for, the one fucking instance where it actually was a problem waiting for other players. That took me half a fucking hour to get into the last boss. For Dawntrail, like, eh. You know, that's despite the fact that I clearly had just cleared it with, 4 other players, at least one of which was also new to Alexandria, so it's just like, yeah. Like, at least back with the Realm Reborn. Yeah, we had the 1.0 players. Like, I eventually got to a point where I was sick of trying to keep the level up with the plot, so I said fuck it and just went to my capped out bard. So I had 3 capped out jobs. I had White Mage, I had Bard, and I had Dragoon. So I just went over to Bard and blitzed through the story. Which I'm sure a lot of people fucking did and didn't try to keep up with anything. That was back in the day when, doing the story quests did not actually keep you up with the story quests required levels. Not even close. Like, what you get as a new player now, where you're, like, level 60 by the time you actually finish a Realm Reborn, probably higher. Depending on, like, how out of your way you're going for certain things. Yeah, that was not the case back then. That's absolutely a newer thing. And on top of that, they compressed the story and people are still wildly overshooting it EXP-wise. They compressed it because there was well over 200 fucking quests back then. Also, yeah, there was like well over 200 quests. I don't even remember the actual number. I counted them out back then because I was curious how much I had actually gone through. It was well over 200. And you still didn't get enough EXP out of the story quests to level purely off the story quests. Eventually you hit a point where it just wasn't enough EXP. I gave up on it somewhere around, Greyflock's Longstop. So I was trying to level Black Mage with it. Did not work that well. There was also huge issues with the end of Heaven's Ward too, because, they didn't really give you a gear set back then. You had to just kind of piecemeal things and hope for the best. You got to the end of the story. Like, I think I had to buy a bunch of, like, just junk gear. So unfortunately, the relic gear, I believe, was attached to Rowena's store in Edelshire back then. It's long been moved to different NPCs at this point. Because, like, as they discontinue tome gear, it gets bumped to, the hunt shops, which is staggered all over the place based on what location it's been taking the gear from. So, like, all the old, FF4 outfits are now in Old Charlian. They used to be in Radzadha, and they're in Old Charlian now. It is. Gotta be such a pain in the ass to document, though. Fuck. Like, SE does have a database, but it's also, like, the worst one out of all the frickin' online databases for the game. It's sorted kind of poorly. It gives you, like, the most bare-bone information. It's almost fucking impossible to search through quests, if I remember right, because I think I went looking for something at some point. And could not, for the life of me, find what I was looking for. Also, again, I wonder if they ever updated their fan kits for PvP, because, like, the last time I went looking at that fan kit, it still had the previous skills in it for some reason. Not, you know, the up-to-date stuff. Which is even funnier, because it's not like they've really heavily updated PvPing the Crystalline Conflict era. Numbers have changed, yes, but the actual abilities really haven't swapped in and out all that much. Unlike, you know, previously, and I've mentioned this before, Red Mage constantly losing and regaining manification in PvP. Like, every fucking season, it was either removed or put back in. We definitely haven't done that, and I know some people don't like the fact that it doesn't change much between seasons, but, like, I don't want to go back to that day when I have to relearn how to play the damn jobs every other season. I'm also just kind of, like, expecting them to change Viper and Pictomancer at some point. Viper definitely does need its buffs on its main combo swapped. It shouldn't be power first, it should be speed first. Or there should be another way of activating the speed, because unfortunately in, like, front lines, you're not getting that fucking combo off, unless your tanks are really annoying. The biggest problem I had with Viper when I was testing it out in front lines is just, if your team's not making space for you, you're not getting shit done. It's not like Ninja where I can sit in the back line and dick around for a while. It just doesn't have good ranged options for that. It's unfortunately like the same sort of segment it's trying to fill as Ninja's spot. Since it's the other dex based in melee. Ninja has a lot of ranged options by comparison. Like, all Viper gets is I think it's a combo ranged move. It's been a while. And it can refresh it, but, like, that's it. Then it goes on like a 30-second cooldown. It is fucking obnoxious. It's not 30 seconds. The one that refreshes, it's like 30. But it takes fucking forever. And you're potentially nerfing your own defensive abilities if you're focusing it on the ranged ones. Since it refreshes both of them. I wouldn't necessarily say Viper is bad. Not like Reaper is, but... yeah. I also didn't test it in Crystalline Conflict. Mostly because I don't know if people are even in Crystalline Conflict right now because it's pre-season. There's nothing to gain out of running Crystalline Conflict. Unless you're like part of the tournament scene, in which case you're doing pre-mades and not using the duty finder. You're setting up something ahead of time. I know there's an actual like competitive PvP group running around. I don't pay attention to like any of the 14 communities, so I have zero fucking patience for that. It's like this game is good until you have any brush with the fucking community for it, in which case it's like, oh, I'm remembering why I hate all of you. I keep to my little corner of the internet, and that is it. Even then, I have to fucking kick people out once in a while. Some of the more obnoxious fanboys show up once in a while. And just, like, prove my fucking valid criticisms right. Like, my experience with this the 14 community is that they're all fucking shitty people. There's toxicity everywhere. The only reason people say there is no toxicity from, like, an outside perspective is everybody treats Yoshida really well. That is the only time they're not being shitheads. It's when Yoshida's involved. And even then, that's not entirely the case. I have mentioned this on another stream. I think it's in one of the VODs. Yeah, during one of the live streams, they kept trolling him by sending him trade requests to keep him from teleporting away. Granted, I think that resulted in that issue being fixed. Because, like, some of these problems SE only fixes once it inconveniences them, like the audio issue we used to have. Where if what you were transmitting the audio out of Switch settings, it would keep playing them out of the original settings. Until they ran into that issue on a live stream, they couldn't be bothered to do anything about it. Which, also, again, SE really shouldn't be the case, by the way. Maybe fix it before then. That had been an issue since A Realm Reborn started. But it only took you running into it yourselves, like, fucking 7 years later before you did anything about it. Shit, when the fuck was that? I think that was Shadowbringers they hit that issue. They were trying to do a promo live stream and they fucking hit a wall with it. Like, the current drama going on Twitter, somebody getting dragged for perpetuating misogyny in the fucking raiding community, and then wondering why women aren't raiding. It's like, yeah, that doesn't fucking surprise me at all. So honestly, fixing the misogyny won't get more women into fucking day one raiding and doing the races and shit. It just won't. Not the sole problem. Like, I am that level of competitive bitch, and, I wouldn't touch raiding even if I were physically healthy still. I wouldn't touch that day one crap. I don't want to sit there spending 48 hours wasting away trying to clear something. Just sounds fucking exhausting. Not to mention, I don't have anybody to bring me food or make sure I actually eat properly during that 48-hour time period. So, like, yeah, no. Like, I am hyper-competitive. I like ruining somebody's day by whooping their asses. I'm kind of a bitch. I'm not necessarily a good person. I thought that was established. But even I wouldn't, even if you fixed all the misogyny and I was like 26 again and physically healthy, no, I still wouldn't fucking touch day one rating and join the fucking races and shit. Absolutely not. Some of it just comes down to a priority difference. And, you know, having other obligations. Shit, some younger women have children. Like, the fuck do you think is gonna happen? They can't just piss off for 48 hours and play a fucking video game. Even if they had attentive, like, actually functioning partners who were capable of taking care of the kids without them for 48 hours. Just no. Oh. Everybody will always point at the misogyny of, like, the competitive communities. I'm just like, yeah, no. You could fix all of that. It still wouldn't make me want to be that hyper-obsessed with any one game, ever. Even if I was so good at it that I could make money out of it, just no. Okay, since the game's already bitching at me, it's time to go back to Solution 9. Not only that, but like the competitive scenes require usually younger players, just due to the fact that it probably happens less with 14. Since you know, day one rating races only happen every every 8 months or so, depending on what SC feels like releasing. Like, if they're releasing anything extra compared to just the base Savage raids, then it's a little more often. Not to mention you motherfuckers keep cheating and installing mods you shouldn't have. That keeps happening. It also probably really doesn't inure any other fucking minority communities who might get bullied by the raiding community into, like, actually fucking participating. It's kind of a fucking deterrent when so many of you cheat. Not only cheat, but so many of them are just fucking rats. On top of that. So that whole thing that happened with the Omega, the Omega Ultimate. Granted, that dude had every reason to be a rat, but like I don't blame him for ratting out his buddies. They had it coming on that one, based on the story I heard. But you know, it's the whole fucking mess. And honestly, it's just not worth it to fucking deal with. Okay, I have been streaming for an hour. I think this would be a good time to take a break. Yeah, I'm almost out of Sunday drink. I gotta get a refill. You know the deal. Cam, ads. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Maybe grab the snack. Well, maybe able to do that later. Depends how long this goes. Jesus fucking Christ. Twitter, why are you advertising the fucking image AI thing? How the fuck did you guys not get sued by Nintendo and Disney? I don't know why you would actively advertise the thing that's very likely going to get you fucking sued. Okay. I can confirm the muscle and joint cream helped a little, but fuck, my back still feels really stiff. It reduced the ache, but it did not fix the problem. Okay, I should be good to go. I have to go back to Tuliolo. Then I go Shallow. Fuck, SE! Pronunciation guide, please. Fuck. So many weird names to keep track of. Shaloni. Then we go to the other side this time, hit the node, then go back to the correct side of the burbs. Because the fish are nothing if not dumb. Now they're no longer suspicious. No, I don't even have to catch anything. Problem is I have to do all the setup work again. This is why I'm doing the fishing so close to the zone lines, because it's just easier. And the setup to get them to stop being sus is right next to me. Also, my fucked up inventory doesn't matter as much, based on the fact that I was making the fish sus and I hadn't filled up my inventory yet. Yeah, I could make this faster by not having to go back to Solution 9, but it doesn't matter as much. God, it doesn't feel like it's 2:30. It feels like it should already be like dinner time. I'm not gonna lie, it feels like it should be dinner time already. It's been gray and miserable the past couple days. Granted, I prefer it like that, but it really throws off my ability to tell what time it is. Oh, I see. Again, when's the PvP season starting? Like, seriously. Raids have been out for a while. Where's the PvP season? Like, people are already technically quitting because they have nothing to do. So some have moved to WoW. At least temporarily. He'll be back. So I still don't know why anybody trusts Blizzard to do anything. Jesus fuck. You guys complain about Blizzard so goddamn often. Yeah, y'all go crawling back the moment they release a fucking WoW expansion. I don't know how anybody enjoys WoW. I really don't. I've tried. It just fucking sucked to me. I was just like, really? I could get the same fucking experience from a game I wouldn't have to pay shit for. Like, there's a ton of free-to-play MMOs around that basically play the exact same way WoW does. The only difference is they don't have insanely huge communities to work off of. Also, I'm kind of vaguely missing MapleStory again, which happens once in a while. But, like, Nexon is vastly stupid, I've noticed. They keep expecting every single game they release to perform as well as the original OG MapleStory. It's never gonna happen. It just physically can't. The OG MapleStory was just in the right place at the right time, and it was fucking lightning in a bottle. You're not gonna repeat that same level of success Nexon. It's just not gonna happen. It physically cannot. Shit, even now it's not even really succeeding quite as well as it used to. Like, it's good that they compressed things and made leveling easier to an extent, but like, fuck, it's never gonna be quite the same. Cause like, I'm pretty damn sure that's what they were expecting out of MapleStory 2. It was never gonna perform the same. It also didn't help that they released the game. They had little to no endgame content. It's like, understandable. MMO comes out. It's not gonna have a shit ton of endgame content right away. They just physically can't. Not to mention you have to wait until players get caught up anyways. But they did that, and then people kept making extra characters, because obviously there was nothing else to do except level another character. And then they released the raids, and it was like, oh, you basically have to hyper-focus on leveling one character, because good fucking luck doing it with multiple. Which just, you know, completely turned around the way everybody was playing. So I'm not surprised it just fucking ran into a brick wall. Not to mention, that was the second time they had tried releasing MapleStory 2. We never saw the first iteration of it in North America. It never got out of Korea. It was like, they expected it to be quite literally the same success as the original MapleStory. It just wasn't gonna happen. It was a bit sad, because, like, the guy, the producer, I think it was, at least seemed to, like, listen to the community. It's just like, it was never going to have that same level of success. It just wasn't. They need to stop expecting their games to have that same level of success. It just won't, guys. Come on now. Honestly, they should focus on getting that level of success in Korea and not worry so much about the international market. In my opinion, because, like, we have access to way different shit as it is. They should focus really hard on the local market and not so much on the international one. And again, we're finally getting, like, good media out of Korea. It's like, we've got several movies and TV shows. We've got games that are actually doing well here. You know, minus all the fucking controversies frickin' Project Moon keeps running into. Luckily, the one issue is getting a lot more international attention. Because that one employee they fired got targeted by a bunch of really shitty men's websites. Again, I can't say the word because Twitch is stupid like this. And like that, all the fucking misogyny going on there and all just the gross shit's finally like coming to light. Now, whether or not it actually fucking changes anything, because we can't fix the misogyny on our own fucking borders, like, eh. Like, at best they can hope their politicians change the laws to fucking punish people for being disgusting little freaks, but that's about all they can really hope for. It's not gonna fix anything. What they're asking for requires very long-term solutions. Most of the shit that needs to be fixed in the world requires long-term solutions. But unfortunately, the way we run our politics doesn't make long-term solutions all that viable. Everything's just fucking split right down the middle. Every time a fucking conservative government ends up in place, just fucking backs everything right the fuck up. Oh yeah, I've got a couple things I gotta do in October, huh? Sorry, I just kind of remembered because I was like, wait, that's when the provincial voting is. I was like, didn't I have something else? Yeah, I do have something else in October. My mom asked if I wanted to go with her to, she's got an appointment with the hand surgeon, finally. I don't remember the actual specific title of said dude, but yeah, no. She finally got a freaking appointment. She asked if I wanted to go along, because she doesn't like driving long distances by herself. I figured, meh, might as well. Like, it's not like I make plans that far ahead normally, so it's not like I have anything going on that day. And honestly, if my mom's car was far less comfortable than it is, I'd probably, like, not agree to go. For whatever reason, that passenger seat in her car is really comfy for my back, and I don't understand why. Like, it will actually fix my back pain sometimes. Could not fucking explain it. And no, it's not lumbar support, because usually anything that supposedly has lumbar support is actually really bad for my back. I don't think most of these companies understand what lumbar support actually is. Like, bitch, if it hurts my back, it's not good lumbar support, because my lumbar is the fucking issue. All my problems have been in that area. For basically my entire life, because I hurt those discs, when I was little in the first place. I was like fucking 11 or 12 the first time I did actual damage to my back. Granted, that was back in the day when, like, I could actually heal those kind of injuries. Because unfortunately, the way your discs work is, the explanation I got was that when you're young, you still have blood flow to those discs because you're still growing, but that cuts off after a while. I don't know how accurate that is. But I could definitely believe it. Based on my own personal experiences. So, fuck knows? I'd have to actually look that stuff up, but I don't feel like trawling through medical texts most of the time. Then Googling medical stuff usually results in some very unpleasant information. Excuse me. Oh, and for those that don't pay attention to my Twitter, I actually did get some YouTube work done. I actually had a minor headache after I'd finished. I set up 7 VODs. 5 of them were the 14 VODs, 2 of them were dredge. I also went through and set up the base part of the descriptions for a bunch more. So I was still watching a YouTube video at the time. I was like, well, just go copy paste this into everything, get some of the settings done for everything else. And since it didn't require me paying attention to replay of the VOD. Also, I looked at that one with the absolutely horrendous paladin I had the other day when I was trying to cat machinist. The dude absolutely bought one of the level skips. Because it occurred to me that he had all 660 gear aside from the weapon and the 1 earring. Which is what you get out of the level skip kit. Quite luckily, he level skipped up to 90 and then just decided to be a fucking little bitch about the whole thing and not actually learn the damn job. Doesn't explain why he was wearing the leveling earring, though. Unless he's just too stupid to read, because, it very clearly says it works up until 90 and then stops working. That's when its stat gain also stops. So at that point, you're better off using literally anything else. Like, if he bought the level skip, he would have had another earring. Also, none of that explains why he was using 640 weapon and shield. That I can't fucking explain. And I don't know what he was doing wrong with his rotation that would have fucking screwed up the enmity that badly. As far as I can tell, he had tank stance on. That level of a gear difference wouldn't have caused the sheer enmity issues we were running into, so it had to be a combination of both. It had to be a combination of him literally just not using the job correctly and the gear issue. Remember, this is in Vanguard. So there are definitely gear upgrades he could have had by that point. You know, other than just fixing the fucking earring. Not to mention, with Paladin, there's no excuse to run really shitty gear. The SE realized having the sword and shield drop separately was a stupid idea, so now it comes as a packaged item. It comes as a crate that you have to open. I don't know why it took that long to do that, SC. It's not like the shields haven't been in the game since the start. They've always been separate entities. Shit, White Mage and Black Mage used to have shields. They stopped doing that because they realized that was actually a pain in the ass. But left them on Paladin. The fact that White Mage and Black Mage had shields is a 1.0 remnant. They had enough, like I said, they had enough sense to get rid of them. And now you can, like, trade in the old weapons for the, correct versions of them if you want a glamour. 'Cause, like, Leviathan, I think, was the last instance where they did Black Mage, White Mage shields and canes, or wands, or whatever they were. Which, now that I think about it, might have been around the time they added Ninja. Because, like, when they announced Ninja, I was expecting it to be 2 separate weapons, but it's a weapon pack. Despite the fact that you are dual wielding, it is 1 weapon slot. It's not an offhand. I'm a tad surprised that they haven't just phased out offhands at this point. It's like fishing sits in an awkward spot with offhands compared to the other gatherers. You have all the crafters need offhands. Then you have Paladin in a weird spot. And I think the only reason they're still holding out on the offhands is because people would complain if they got rid of the ability to glamour in shields as a separate entity. And they just can't be bothered to reprogram things to allow that. Granted, the fact that we now have the faceware glamour as its own separate slot, maybe they might figure out how to do that for Paladin as its own separate thing. So that you buy the weapon and shield are all part of the same entity, but you glamour the shield separately through an extra slot. The problem is they'd have to completely reprogram the stats for crafters and gatherers to do that. So really, I think a large part of it comes down to glamours. Because they said that's the reason they didn't get rid of the extra ring slot, is just glamours. Even though the ring slot's definitely one of those ones that really should have been gotten rid of. Just because of how wildly inconvenient it is to handle the gear when you are setting things up. Yeah, that whole unique untradeable thing. Granted, they could get rid of that, but they choose not to on newer stuff. Yeah, that's why we ended up losing belts, is because, couldn't see them glamour-wise anyways. So they just chucked them out of the game. Kind of funny that didn't carry over, because, 1.0 you could see the belts. I'm guessing they just didn't want to program in what that would look like for every single top. Because it did change how the tops looked. It would change the way they were shaped. And I'm guessing they just didn't want to do that. Granted, I can't really blame them, but it does mean we lost a really neat detail that's just not replicatable anymore. So, like, it totally made sense that belts got fucking booted out of the game. Also, I'm still a little surprised how much use we got out of the Calamity Salvager, considering the whole reason that NPC existed in the first place. It's due to the fact that SE changed how our inventories worked between 1.0 and 2.0, resulting in a bunch of items just kind of having no space to sit in. So I think at the end of 1.0 we had 200 inventory slots, but that had a lot to do with the fact that we didn't have armory chests. So unfortunately that resulted in a lot of our items not fitting in our inventories anymore. Not only that, but literally all the materia was broken. Absolutely every materia piece was broken because they completely redid how the materia system worked. There used to be pieces of materia that would have like 2 main stats on them. So you'd get like, shit. I remember one of the split types was like the best in slot for pants for black mages back then. It resulted in it being really fucking expensive. I feel like if I can remember what was attached to it, it was intelligence and something. The only reason I know this is because I made money back then making materia. I would just latch onto whatever leveling groups were going as a white mage and just level materia and just create materia. Because everybody always needed white mages. White mages were the only healers back then. So they were more than willing to let you latch onto their group to make materia. Keep in mind that's back when it carried over to 2.0, but it was back when getting the materia from the gear resulted in destroying the gear. Which is why materia is so much harder to get back in A Realm Reborn and Heaven's Ward. And now we can just produce it out of our gear without harming it, so, yeah. Also, I still kind of miss being able to go on the ship between Ul'dah and Limsa and just, you know, fish. Now it's an instant teleport across. Granted, I think I just miss when fishing was exclusively a solo activity instead of the stupid deep sea stuff that we have now. I'm sorry, Essie, that was a stupid fucking idea and y'all know it. I don't know why you kept adding to it. It's like, what if fishing was raids? Cool. All it takes is one idiot convincing all the newbies that we should be doing a specific thing, and then all your plans are out the goddamn window. Because now they've screwed everybody else over. One thing if somebody accidentally sets off a spectral, it's another when they're doing it actively when it's the dumbest plan they could possibly ever come up with. Like, you get 2 spectrals per run. I've never seen 3. And if you don't get it on the first one, the second spectral's way longer to make up for it. The last time I ran into that issue, the smartest choice for spectrals would have been on the second area and the third area, because the only thing that was actually obtainable on that run was the achievement for catching 400 octopuses, or octopi, with your team. But this dumbass kept insisting that we should be going for the spectral on the first one. We got the spectral on the first one. It gave significantly less points, and it had no octopi. So it was just like, cool, you've screwed over 23 other players. Congratulations. And like, the newbies aren't gonna know that shit. But you just encourage them to fucking actively work on that shit instead. Because, like, that first spectral didn't have enough points to justify setting it off either. It's like, we have trackers for this shit, guys. Come on now. Fishers are fucking crazy. They'll set up trackers for everything. It is a lot of information to parse. If you didn't have a database helping you, you straight up would not be able to manage fishing half the time. Also, I see more than a few people just, like, actively admit they don't know they can reset fishing nodes. Just happened in Diadem, because, the best point-wise setup for Diadem, the catch, I think they were called sweatfish? I don't fucking remember off the top of my head. I haven't had to do this in months. It's like, the fishing achievements are the easiest ones to obtain in there. But, like, there's an island just south of that fucking fishing spot that has the tier 2, tier 3, grade 2, grade 3, that's the word I'm looking for. That has those in it. And if you touch that node and then go back to the sweatfish, it'll have reset the node. You don't have to leave Diadem and fly all the way across the damn map to reset it. Holy shit, people. You're actually making shit harder on yourselves. Like, you don't even have to catch anything out of a node to reset the previous one. You just have to hit cast on it and then leave. And it completely resets the timer. The fish ain't that smart. It's like you get 50 minutes with a node. If you walk away from the node without touching another one, the timer keeps ticking. Granted, I'm not 100% sure if it ticks at the same rates. When you're actively at it, it is at 50 minutes, roughly. If you touch any other node, it resets the previous one. You do not have to catch anything, you just have to touch it. Does not count spearfishing, though, which runs off of a system closer to what we already have for gathering, for all the other gathering. Granted, with a weird little mini game built in. It used to be 1 for 1, exactly the same as a regular gathering. I wish it would go back to that, honestly. I don't like the mini game. It feels stupid. I preferred it when it wasn't the minigame. The problem is they basically put in that minigame and it was like, oh, now we can do harder things with this. And it's like, cool. Cool, I've spent months trying to get one fucking thing out of a fishing node. Because it requires a weird combination of catching 2 other fish multiple times in the same node to get the one fucking thing I need to spawn. Which is already RNG. Granted, I think they only did that once. I don't think they did that again because that was stupid. If they've done it again, I haven't run into it yet. So far, all the spearfishing nodes I've touched for Dawntrail don't contain that issue. But like I said, I haven't gone through all of them yet. So I don't know. I have no idea. The Fish Tracker app doesn't show anything fucking weird like that, but it could also just not have the information right now. I can tell you it doesn't have any of the size information for the current spearfishing stuff. But you know what the fuck to look for in the minigame, because the fish are different sizes. They're different sizes and they're different speeds sometimes. Also, I should maybe get off my butt and actually work on the Crystarium main hands for crafting. I just couldn't be bothered to do it last time. Like that's the sole reason I didn't do it, because I did the ones in Firmament. Well, I think I did all the ones in Firmament. I think there was a continuation I didn't do that happened way later. I don't actually know. Never checked to see how the fuck to get those ones. I seen the achievements. I have no idea how to actually obtain them. I just haven't been bothered to look. That's gonna involve some research that I just don't feel like doing. Also, no, I'm not looking at the fish tracker right now. Like, there is some stuff I could probably keep track of. I just don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like moving around too much. Or, you know, getting pissed off by the Crucifix Okla again. I actually went after that with properly using, Spherical Hand. Also still didn't catch it. It, fucked off on every single attempt. You know, despite the fact that that's 2 expansions back now. That's how bad the RNG is. It's a guaranteed catch off of its previous mooch once it's in the time window, but, fuck if the game will ever allow it to happen. It took me like 20 attempts to get it the first time, and then Essie was just like, oh, we're gonna add another thing to the mooch chain, have fun. So mad about that. Like, cool, I totally needed to go after this thing that drove me nuts for several months. Again. You told me that sooner. Then I wouldn't have bothered going after it the first time. Just waited till the second one was in. Also, there's nothing like super crazy so far for Dawntrail. There's a couple that have like 2-hour windows that is not actually like that difficult. We're not dealing with anything with like a 0.1% fucking availability window. That stuff doesn't come until way later. Yeah, usually. Though a couple of the new guys do require the lure abilities. Which I suspect SC will only use for your Dawntrail and then forget they exist on the next expansion. Which has happened before. They create a mechanic and then it just ceases to exist later. Like, Fish Eyes is in the game, but past a certain point, Fish Eyes does absolutely nothing. Like, shit, when did it cut off? Was it after Stormblood, or was it after Heaven's Word? I think it was after Stormblood. Stopped working, because, I remember looking that up for the Only Fish stuff, and I already can't remember. Even then, I think they actually might have changed how fish eyes works at some point. So I could have sworn its original purpose was to make certain fish visible entirely, and now it's like it makes them visible outside of their normal time window. I don't know. My memory might just be bad on that one, or I was looking at a site that had incorrect information. It's like, that's also possible. Because the problem with fishing as it is people will report that they had, what the fuck is the hook ability? I think it took it off. Yeah, no, I think I removed it entirely from my hotbar. Eh. Snagging. That's it. Back then, so many people would report that they had snagging on when they caught something. It was like, that's entirely useless information. The sole purpose of snagging is to catch maps. So if you have it on, quite literally all you're doing is adding an extra thing you can possibly catch. One that you don't necessarily want, because there's RNG involved in that too. They'd always report that they had it on. It's like, cool, that's not useful information. Oh, no, I do still have it on my hotbar. I just moved it. It wasn't useful. Like, it mentions uncatchable fish, but I think that might only apply to coral. And even then, I'm not sure on that one. But it mostly refers to maps. Yes, me. Like I said, I'm not even sure it refers to coral. I think it might have at some point. Granted, that also makes a lot of sense, at least, if it referred to coral. The whole point is that you're essentially attaching more hooks to your line so that you can drag up items. Makes sense if it was hooking onto coral and dragging that up. Though, how often do we even get coral as a fish anymore? Do you even get any of this on this set? I have no idea. And I've been looking at the fishing information this time. And I don't fucking know. I don't think we did. Oh, my poor fucking gear. I am running out of repair material. I'm also genuinely surprised we haven't just compressed the dark matter into one item yet. Like, SE gave up giving us more and just been adjusting the levels on it. Why don't we just compress it down to one like we did with the glamour prisms? Why do we keep pretending like we give a shit that there's different tiers? Okay. Wow, I filled my inventory up way faster this time. I just take another break here, so, you know, ads, I can. I'll be right back. I'm back. I haven't gotten a close-up look at that minion yet. Oh my god, that is precious. Sorry, just looking through Twitter real quick. Also, I've discovered that blocking somebody doesn't keep them from DMing you. Because I blocked what was an obvious fucking scam bot, and I got a DM like days later from them. So that was cool. That was fucking fun. Good to know that fucking blocking somebody on Twitter doesn't mean jack shit. You know, just the usual bullshittery on that fucking platform. What else is new? Also, I can't fucking explain why my freaking 14 VODs are actually getting, like, views now. I'm very confused about that. Also, y'all realize that disliking a YouTube video from a smaller creator really doesn't tell them shit, right? Shit, liking a video from a small creator doesn't tell them anything. Not a big corporation. The likes and dislikes do nothing for me. They do, stroke the algorithm's ego, but really they don't do all that much. It's not like a big corporation where review bombing and disliking it actually, like, sends a message. Doesn't tell me shit. View numbers tell me something fucky's going on, but, like, I couldn't tell you. YouTube keeps changing how they fucking want to prioritize things, and it's, screwing with everything. Shit, my analytics never tell me jack shit. My Twitch analytics tell me more than YouTube's analytics. And Aid keeps single-handedly screwing up my viewer analytics. Like, oh yeah, you have a bunch of viewers from Romania. I have one viewer from Romania, and he's here most of the time. And it keeps fucking with the numbers. It's like, cool, okay, that's useless data. Also, the sandstorm went away. Seriously, it does not feel like it's 3 o'clock. I keep reiterating that. It is that dark outside. My entire sense of time is thrown off. talk about now. It's been 2 hours. God, I miss the days when the fishing streams used to actually bring people in. That was all the way back in Heaven's Ward. Now that literally everybody fucking plays the game, it's actually hurt my viewer count. So, like, get somewhere between, like, 11 and 15 people. Now I can't even do that most times. You know, an actually active chat. Can't manage that anymore. Oh, that's... I was talking about Twitter DMs. That just reminded me. My brain just kind of went off on an internal tangent. I just realized that's the other thing I've been getting in DMs. It's just random people sending me a DM that just says, like, hi and nothing else. Like, the fuck? Twitter isn't Discord, guys. Like, you don't just fucking have random casual conversations in fucking DMs. If you want something, fucking tell me what it is. Don't just say hi. Hi is for Twitch chat and Discord. Shit, not even from my Discord, because I'm tired of feeling like I'm having to pull teeth to get people to interact. Granted, that's improved a tiny bit lately, but eh. After I've spent 3 hours streaming, I don't feel like spending more time trying to get people to play nice with each other. And, like, actually interact with each other. I don't have the energy for that. I know for a fact, anytime I've ever asked if anybody wants to, like, play 100% Orange Juice or, like, a multiplayer game, I never get a fucking response, so... Just kinda given up on that one. That's a thing I want to get back to doing, but, like... eh. That requires an audience again, and I don't really have one. Not enough of a one to actually sustain, like, a specific day every month to play 100% Orange Juice anyways. Well, not long enough to actually, like, have a full stream anyways. So I think I could drag people in for, like, maybe 2 matches and that's about it. Unfortunately, that game's not much when you're playing solo, and I cleared the hardest fucking content in it already. So I'm one of those crazy people that did Tamamo Hell. I wish I had saved that stream, because I was maniacally laughing when I got it cleared in 2 attempts on stream. I've been trying over and over again on my own, and then on stream is just like, no problem. Then again, I think I got lucky in the AI-controlled ones did something really stupid and kept knocking themselves out. So I must have got left alone the entire time. That was back when I could still do like 24-hour streams, kind of for the hell of it. I can't do that anymore. Unfortunately, one of the things that that helps arthritis is getting proper sleep. So I can't like do 24-hour shit. Not on purpose, anyways. Accidentally, maybe, because I did that, really long Persona 5 stream for one of the New Year's. Fuck, when was that? Like, 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago now? Damn it, time's a lie. That was before I started seriously posting everything onto the YouTube channel. There are still some some clips of me fucking around with that game. I still don't know how I glitched out Joker that one time. He'd clearly been frozen, but for some reason he wasn't frozen. I don't know. I will inevitably glitch something out. As long as I don't clip through a wall like I usually do, I think we're fine, but... it's like, it happens way too damn often. Thank fuck 14's a relatively stable game. You know, unlike fucking Guild Wars 2, where, walls were a suggestion, not a definitive part of reality. Yes, I did play Mesmer. Flipping through walls was an everyday experience, whether I wanted to or not. That game just had some of the shittiest fucking collision ever. I don't know how they managed it that badly. Oh, and I still gotta figure out what game to play next. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing with frickin' Labyrinth or Refrain. I just haven't had the energy to, like, fucking do much else lately. Except raid. Because, like, I don't have to put much effort into that. My on-hold list is actually shrunk down to 1 book. You can believe that, because I've, like, had 6 on it for pretty much the entire time I've owned that fucking e-reader. There has been at least 6 books on the hold list. I have plenty of stuff to read that's sitting on the wish list so I can remember to grab it later, but... nah, there's not much on the holds right now. I keep using the e-reader while I'm working out, I end up having to constantly have a supply of novels to read. If it didn't hurt my back to hold up regular ass books, I honestly wouldn't use the e-reader, but my back will actually hurt if I'm not supporting my my upper body with my arms. So it's impractical. But, like, that means I get at least 40 minutes of reading done every day. So I've just been absolutely tearing through all my reading material. And apparently I can't be trusted with unfettered access to the library. Really fucking wish the audiobooks from the library would work on the e-reader. They don't for some reason, even though my e-reader is compatible with audiobooks. Don't fucking know why. Like, what an odd decision. You can check out audiobooks through a digital means, but you need a completely separate device to do it. Or you need to listen to them through through a web browser, and I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to lock it into a device I can't carry around with me. And if anything happens with the web browser, it might reset the book, and I'm like, I don't know if it does it that way or if it saves where it is externally. I have no idea. Oh yeah, I didn't check to see if that frickin' mattress is still sitting out there. Hopefully they fucking moved it. Like, I don't expect whoever was that dumped it there to fucking move it, but you would think management would at least move it. Like, the actual mattress part was downstairs at the dumpster. But it's one of those electronic beds that you can change the elevations on. They left that part sitting in the fucking hallway. Like, seriously, this place is an absolute dump now. I hate it. This basically happened with the last apartment I was in. It went downhill after the fucking management changed hands. Like, we found out they weren't properly treating for bed bugs. That was fun. It's like, bed bugs don't live in your mattress, they live in the walls. So, treating one suite and not the entire building does fuck all. Shit, even treating the entire building sometimes does fuck all. Those bastards are persistent. Let's just say it completely changed our plans when I was moving out, because it took us 2 days to pack up everything in the end. So we kept having to lock every single fucking door in the process. People kept hovering around and, like, staring into the truck and stuff. But it completely changed our plans, and we ended up having to look for a hotel that night. Which, turned out there was a freaking youth hockey tournament going on at the same time, so it took us several attempts to even find a hotel with an opening. So it did result in me going in the hotel I was curious about. There was this one I knew was there for as long as I can remember. And I had never been inside. It was a nice little hotel. In a bit of an awkward spot, though. Or at least the entrance is. The parking lot's off to the side and behind it, but it's just in a weird spot. The entrance is, like, right up against the road. It was actually a cute and nice little hotel. I just never been inside before. Like, obviously, how often do you stay in a hotel in your hometown? Okay, I shouldn't even say that, because that's happened like 3 times now. Where we've ended up having to stay in a hotel, because, something stupid's happened. Granted, I'm so used to, traveling around from when I was a kid. Because we went to Calgary a lot. To just, like, hang out and get away from things. I'm so used to that I can kind of just sleep anywhere now. Which is not a great habit to have, necessarily. But I'm just so used to not sleeping in my own bed that it doesn't bother me at all. Like, if I'm tired enough, I will sleep anywhere. Granted, now I have back problems, so, like, that's even worse of an idea, but it's something I can do. What the fuck? God damn it, I'm still mad at my aunt for that one. She, mate, this is when I was, like, 10, I think? 9 or 10? She made me sleep in the fucking baby's crib for some reason. I don't even know why she still had that thing. Her kids were too old for it. Ah, fuck. Wrong button. But, like, we were visiting them, and for some reason she made me sleep in the crib. I don't know what the hell that was about. Also, why... I was there with my cousin who's the exact same age, and he's smaller than me. Why didn't you make him sleep in there? Why was I the one that had to be subjected to the crib? Again, why did you even have it? Your kids certainly didn't need it. She never had any other kids. What the hell? Like, why not just make me sleep on the floor at that point? Or shit, take the mattress out of the crib and have me sleep on the floor. I know I had a habit of rolling out of bed back in those days, but like, excuse me? Why still? Or at least as far as I'm aware, I had a habit of rolling out of bed. I was never awake when it happened. Like, I'm still not entirely sure if my friend was fucking with me that one time. I woke up on the floor and her and her mom were just fucking looking at me like, what the hell? They were like, oh yeah, no, you rolled out of bed in the middle of the night. I was like, I did? Like, the only proof I have of this is that I'm on the floor. Well, like, I slept like a fucking log back in those days. For all I know, you picked me up and put me down here. Not sure how much longer I'm going to be going with this. Like, we're past the 2-hour mark, and I'm kind of starting to, like, get bored of this. It's easier when I've got people to talk to, but it's been dead all day. So. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, I am flipping through pages and looking at stuff while trying to do this. In case you're wondering why the sound effects keep turning off, that's me. That's me dicking around. The only sounds from the game that I have playing when alt-tabbed are system alerts, so that I can hear the duty finder ping, and background music. Just so that when I'm setting up the stream, you guys still hear the part of the game. Which is why I'm usually sitting in my house or somewhere where there's, like, active background music. Like, 14's very, very good about this and making sure that you can specifically tell the game what you want to hear when it's alt-tabbed. Unlike, you know, a few of the fucking solo games I've played where it's just like, oh yeah, no, you're never gonna hear anything from the game when it's alt-tabbed. Have fun with that. Just so fucking annoying when starting a stream. In case anybody's watched the Labyrinth of Refrain VODs, there was another game recently. What was it that did the same thing? Where it had zero audio. Was that Dredge? I don't think it was Dredge. I don't remember. There was another one that went up onto YouTube recently that did the same thing. If you're wondering why there's like absolutely no sound at the very start of those VODs, that's because it's not fucking compatible with being alt-tabbed. That is entirely the sole reason why there is no audio at the start of those. And I really wish games would stop doing that. It makes streaming so fucking awkward. And like, I don't have money to throw into like getting a separate like song to play in the background for our streams. I don't have that kind of money. It's also like the absolute last thing on the fucking priority list because I need custom assets, I need a better stinger, I need like emotes, I need a whole host of other shit before I even think about that. Like, the assets I have are very patched together. There's like, at the very least, one I absolutely want customized for 14 for when I'm on the Be Right Back screen, which has like little details along the corner so that there's much more of a visual cue for when I'm on a break. Which is part of the reason why I threw in that little cactuar just for the hell of it. Which the credits for that should be in the description somewhere. I'm pretty sure they are. I just don't know what I necessarily listed them as. I wanted to put in like a little description for each one. And I don't remember what I listed it as specifically. I think it was a Sina art piece. I don't remember off the top of my head. I haven't had to adjust that description a long ass time. Like, there was an asset pack I was looking at for maybe swapping out my backgrounds and stuff that includes, some very basic, headers for the description underneath the stream. Problem is, that is a lot of fucking work to set up. That is changing a shit ton of tabs. Like, the stuff for the description's actually easier. But, like, swapping any of the assets out is a huge pain in the fucking ass. Not to mention, I think on a couple of them I'd have to swap around how the model's displayed and moves around. So it's just like, it's something I want to do, but I've been putting it off. I don't feel like doing that much work right now. Which is why I haven't set up that Melon Minty customizable slime model. I have it. I had intended to use it with a text-to-speech type deal. Couldn't get the fucking thing to stay working constantly, so I just said fuck it, didn't bother. Not to mention it would have been one other thing I would have had to run. Technically 2 other things I would have had to run, because I would have needed to run a second instance of VTube Studio on top of it. It's like, yeah, it's doable for my computer. Do I want to do it? Not really. My computer's hot enough as it is. Actually, it's pretty chill right now by comparison. It's been worse. Like, it's a shocking amount of effort to have to switch all the scenes to the new assets and stuff. Not to mention that then I have to swap all the descriptions, and then I have to pay attention to which VODs need the new descriptions as well. Granted, I do myself a favor when it comes to those descriptions. If I have multiple VODs of the same game, I set up a text document in my file folder for those VODs that contains the descriptions I would need for the YouTube end of things. Yes, I know this won't be the burb. I fucked up it with the inputs because I'm distracted. But like, I set up a small package of what I would need to put in a description for sure. So I just copy and paste it in. Because like with 14, I have to put in that copyright Square Enix thing. Because they're a bit weird about the YouTube end of things. Granted, they're a bit more forgiving about shit, honestly. They could be a lot worse. Cough, cough, Nintendo. Cough, cough. Like, they've been a lot more fucking chill about things. It's just mostly copyright trolls that are an issue. Plus, I have a bunch of, like, hashtags for each VOD as well that have to go in. But it saves me having to track down one of the VODs to copy and paste and then delete all the extra timestamp information. For some reason, YouTube's real fussy about highlighting text and will constantly grab more than I'm intending to grab. So it's just like, eh. The less I have to do that, the better. I've deleted entire descriptions by accident before. Luckily, I'm paranoid and save constantly. Also, again, YouTube, do me a favor and let me edit the order of the VODs on the creator dashboard. The fact that I have to be on the other end of YouTube, the actual viewer end, to do that is fucking stupid. Occasionally things get misplaced and then I have to do a whole lot of fuckery to get around that. Also, fucking tell me which VODs on my playlist aren't fucking... are blocked. Because, I have a playlist set up with just songs I like to listen to. And it says 3 of them are blocked from being saved to playlists, and, doesn't bother to tell me which 3 it is. So I don't fucking know. They're still in there somewhere. I don't know which ones it is. It's just telling me they're blocked. It won't fucking specify. Like, YouTube, get your shit together. Stop making weird, arbitrary decisions and get your shit together. Because now apparently they've pivoted from short-form content to long-form content again, being prioritized. It's just like, oh, cool, thanks. Which might explain why some of the VODs are getting weird view numbers, but, like, I don't fucking know. I never expect people to watch the VODs, but the 14 ones are bringing in weird viewer numbers. I'm just like, where did this come from? It's not like I gained that many subscribers since I started putting the 14 VODs on. I've gained all of, like, maybe 3. Probably less than that. Also, you can hide what your subscriptions from people. So, like, I can't see who's subscribing half the time. It's just like, fine, that's okay, but it's a huge pain in the ass. Also, my VOD account doesn't follow anybody on YouTube. It isn't subscribed to anything because I have a different account for that. So it's just not following anything. I really should change that, but like, I don't watch videos from that account, so it's kind of pointless. And well, I don't have any fucking friends, so there's nobody to add in there just as like, hey, go watch this person type thing. No. And I was complaining about the DM thing. I know some people do that to make friends, but I'm just like, no, just tell me what you want. I don't do casual conversations on Twitter. Twitter's for work. Twitter's for work and finding shit people are doing. I don't use it to socialize. Again, Discord, Twitch chat exists. Not to mention I have my Twitch DMs open, but like, again, the last few times I've gotten DMs on there, they've been bots. So, not much of an improvement. So unfortunately, Twitch has the same issue Twitter does. There's a lot of garbage bots. A lot of just random scammers or people just saying hi, and it's just like, cool, again, please, just tell me what the fuck you want. Stop wasting my time. Once I say hi, I don't block, in case anybody was wondering. I just fucking delete the message, because, like, there's nothing to interact with. The ones that I can tell are scam bots get immediately blocked and deleted. YouTube also has a bot problem, to be perfectly fair. I've seen a lot of buggy comments, but nothing I've had to deal with yet. They're only attacking, like, the big channels. Which, fine. Just, God, I don't want to be one of the mods that has to deal with that shit all the time. It's the one benefit to being fucking unknown in this whole content creator bullshit is that at least I don't have to deal with some of the shit the rest of you do. And like, the few instances of it I actually run into, Seriabot usually bitch slaps anyways. So, like, half the time I don't have to worry about it. I think I've had, like, one instance where Seriabot didn't catch it. Which might have been before he set it up to catch the GFX scammers. Possibly. I have no idea. Seriabot's a good little bot. Does its job. Doesn't complain. Don't have to pay money to access it. Anything that's free and actually fucking works is such a plus. It's like, damn near everything requires you to pay for it now for some level of access. Frickin' MooBot has some, like, paid premium service, too. Like, luckily I haven't had to, put in many auto commands, because, like, past a certain point you have to start paying money to getting access to extra. Oh, fuck right off, asshole. What are you doing up there? He was, like, banging on the wall yesterday. I'm like, shh, asshole. I haven't made a single fucking sound for hours. That was on Wednesday and he was just fucking banging on the wall for no reason. I'm just like, bruh, I literally have headphones in and haven't said a damn thing in hours. What the fuck is your problem? I'm not trying to spend an hour trying to figure out why I keep hearing a cat. That hasn't happened again. Fucking seriously. I don't know how this dude is somehow worse than that old lady that used to live up there. Granted, this dumbass hasn't flooded my fucking apartment. Twice. There's still water damage all over the place, by the way. Ceiling is still stained. Yeah. The patch job they did to find another leak in the kitchen's been fucking warped to hell and back. Don't want fucking... We still have a stained panel in the lighting in the kitchen. Second time it happened, my mom was like, yeah, I'm not fucking pulling that down if they're gonna end up doing it again. So we didn't bother bringing it down to clean it. Having to pour water out of fucking lighting fixture is not an experience I want to repeat again. It's not only where the kitchen lights flooded, the one in the hallway was flooded. Granted, that one had a dead bug in it, so at least that's gone now. We didn't see any point in getting up there to pull that down just to get rid of a dead bug. So it had been sitting there for a while. Yeah, at least this jackass hasn't plugged the sink and left the water running and then walked off. Seriously, who fucking does that? How are you that dumb? The water has to go somewhere. What are you doing? How do you do it twice? How the fuck did it not get you evicted the first time? You caused water damage to 3 separate suites. There was fuck all I could do that was coming through my apartment and going down to the one below me. Because it was going through the walls. Carpet was fucking moist for like a month because it was fucking tracked into the carpet by that point. I want to do that again. That was so fucking gross. To mention, we had to use my camping lantern in there because we weren't sure the electronics were safe until they dried out. You try making something in the kitchen when you're using a camping light. 'Cause otherwise it's like pitch black in there. That's even when the sun's up. The only natural light that gets into the kitchen is from a small hole in the wall that's meant to look at the stove. Also, that's one of those experiences where you just have to stand there and stare at it for a while and be like, wait, what the fuck do I do? There is literally water dripping out of the fucking light on the ceiling. And dripping down the walls. I had assumed that a pipe had burst. You know, the logical fucking conclusion when there's that much unexplainable water in your apartment. No, it's just some jackass too stupid to, you know, turn the damn sink off. Fucking hell. Seriously, how did that not get her evicted? Then again, it's the same building managers, so, like, they're shit at their job. said that repeatedly now. But, like, they're shit at their job. It's not like the new building owner shouldn't know about the water damage they sent an assessor through. Like, you kind of can't miss the stains on the ceiling. Like, shit, there was so much water. The spots that were stained were actually bubbling up from the water absorption for a while there. Until they finally dried out. Now there's just brownish yellow stains everywhere. The water also smelled awful. So that was fun, too. Like, it'd been fucking floating through the walls. You don't know what the fuck's in there. Not as much insulation as you'd think there would be, because, I know most of the walls in this building don't have insulation in them. They kind of don't need it. Mostly the outer walls that need it. So it's like, you don't know what the fuck that water picked up. It's so gross. It also technically damaged the recycling bags I had under the sink, but those had, like, an inner waterproof layer, so they dried out just fine. They did eventually dry out, and they worked just fine. Just, yeah. And they're all wrinkly. It might be time to wrap up. I'm close to finishing the book that I currently have that I'm working on. I think I'm close to finishing it. I think I checked. There's like 4 chapters left and an epilogue. Okay, I'll do this one last cast and then I'll turn everything in. Hey, there we go. Back to solution 9. Also gotta pull materia. I don't have materia in all my gear. Most of the materia that's in there is from, like, within the first couple weeks of the Dawntrail going live. Also, it's kind of quiet here compared to usual. Like, I've been complaining about the game fucking lagging in Solution 9 the past couple, weekly resets. This is relatively chill compared to those days. Like, even this is kind of overpopulated, but it's still way more chill, way more relaxed. It's not straining anything. Alright. Back to my house, I guess. That'll be it for me today. I don't know what's going on the rest of the week. I so rarely know what's going on, to be perfectly honest. I don't plan shit out because my plans never fucking work the way I want them to. Like, shit. The last time I made plans for stream was when Dawntrail came out, and then YouTube was like, yeah, you can't upload the entire VOD like that. You're gonna have to split it. At least it told me that the first day, and I didn't find out after I fucking streamed every single day. That would have been fucking frustrating. Anyway, one thing I know for sure is that there is a 14 VOD going up tomorrow. I don't know which one. I don't remember what I fucking listened to the best. I think it might be the Fate VOD for Sage. Where is it? Yeah, no, it's the Sage Fate VOD. Yeah. Okay. Same schedule for the next 2 weeks. There's 14 VODs. For the next 2 weeks, and one Dredge VOD. The Dredge ones are on Fridays. I'm finally parsing the VODs down a little. Sort of. There's still like 10 sitting there, 2 Dredge, and the rest are 14 ones. It's gonna be a never-ending thing for a while. But once I've parsed down the 14 VODs, the schedule will change a bit. Like right now, it's 314 VODs just because I'm trying to get them out. And I haven't run into any copyright troll issues in a while, so it's been relatively chill on that end. But yeah, that will be it for me today. So, thanks for coming, guys. I'll see y'all next time.